My name is Dusty King with King & King, and today I'm here with Dee Wright with The Starting Place. As many of you may know, I'm one of the founding members of King & King PLC. We do a significant amount of divorce work, but for today's purposes, we want to talk about some issues that the court is simply ill-equipped to deal with, and that's some of the emotional issues that people deal with going through a divorce. One of which, given this time of the year, there's a lot of people that have difficulties during the holiday seasons, and certainly if someone is having to deal with a divorce, that's going to magnify those issues. So we're here with Dee to try to get some tips of how to get through those holidays. But first, Dee, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am an LCSW, that's a licensed clinical social worker at The Starting Place. It's a private practice. We have been in business in practice for about 5 years. I have an associate, Tracy Schott, is here with me. Tracy sees children, I see adults. And that's pretty much what we do. We just help people work through life and get beyond the broken places when life gets hard.
And for those watching, we will provide some contact information at the conclusion of the video, so you can contact Dee if you need a little help getting through some rough times. But Dee, again, a lot of people have some depression or have some troubles through the holidays,
Right.
And of course they're going to have some emotional issues going through a divorce. So what tips do you have for someone who's going through a divorce to get through the holidays? I mean, it may be a situation where for the first time someone's not waking up with their child on Christmas morning,
Right.
and they dwell on that. What can they do to try to help with that?
One of the most important things, I think, Dusty, is to create new traditions. To understand that the way things were, those things are gone. That's the end of that. So kind of like closing one book and opening another book.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea is to keep yourself surrounded by people that care about you, and that hopefully that you care about as well. But just realizing that, okay, one book is closed, I'm through with that book, I'm going to open another one. So that would equal creating new traditions. Creating, maybe if, let's just say, for example, you can't have that same family around on Christmas for lunch, but most people have a family, an extended family of friends. You can create your own traditions. Hey, we're having, somebody said the other day, yesterday I think it was, they were talking about a friend giving day.
Okay.
Instead of a Thanksgiving day,
Mm-hmm.
it was a Friendsgiving day. And so they just created a new tradition, a tradition of people that didn't have extended family. And so what they did is they just had Thanksgiving dinner with a bunch of friends. And it was fantastic. And so basically that's what you're going to be doing, is you're going to be creating a new tradition, creating a new way of life. And that in itself will help you. It's not going to take away the pain.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to make it where it doesn't hurt. It's going to take some adjusting. It's going to take some getting used to this idea that things are not the way they were.
Okay.
But the really great thing about that is that you can, at the same time, allow yourself to let go of the pain that went along with being in that other relationship.
Okay. Well, along that same vein, I see a lot of instances where, when two people were married, obviously you have those traditions where you will have Christmas Eve at this family member's home,
Right.
and then Christmas morning at this
Right.
family member's home. Then when we part ways, as you said, things change, and we've got
Right.
to change those. How can one spouse communicate with the other spouse that things are going to change, so the other spouse doesn't necessarily get tied into the old way of doing things? Because I mean, the reality is we all have certain obligations, not just to the other spouse or the child, but there's extended family, and
Right.
it may be that grandmother always expects to have Christmas morning or Christmas lunch.
Oh, we did that at our house.
But
Yeah.
but the way the schedules work out and the way a parenting plan works
Mm-hmm.
out is a lot of times you're alternating years where
Mm-hmm.
one year a parent may get Christmas morning, and then the next year the other parent will get Christmas morning. It goes into more
Right,
detail than that, but
right.
that's the gist of it. So how do they communicate with one another to work out that?
Well, honestly, I think that if the family as a whole, but primarily the actual parents, if they can be flexible, just remember to be flexible, and not to. I mean, it can get really big right here in this one question. But if you can just remember to be flexible, that it's about the child, and it's about the child being able to spend time where they need to spend time, and the most important people are the two parents.
Mm-hmm.
So if it goes where you can't show up at grandmother's for breakfast because the kids are at dad's or whatever, you just have to be flexible. And some things they're just not going to be the same. If someone is holding hard and fast to a tradition, they're going to have trouble. They're going to create trouble for
Mm-hmm.
themselves and for that child. And the children, the main thing.
Right.
I mean, isn't that really kind of
That's
the most
should
important
be.
part? Yeah.
That should be.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is, don't necessarily hold on to what used to be, because that's not going to happen anymore. It's time to make new traditions. Time
Mm-hmm.
to, be flexible, so both parties have the opportunity to make those new traditions.
Absolutely.
And I would suggest also communicate that to your extended family. Communicate that to the grandparents and
Exactly.
the great grandparents, that you know what, it's not the way it was. It's not going to be the way it was.
Yeah.
We need to tread new ground here, and we need to make new traditions.
Absolutely.
But first and foremost, keep the kids in mind, because that's really what this
Yeah.
season is supposed to be about.
That's right. And the more chaos that you create for them, the worse it'll be for them. If you can keep everything at peace, just peacefully making changes, well, you know what? That's how we used to do it, honey, but we're not going to do it like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We'll create a new tradition and make it exciting for them, then they'll be all on board.
Good deal. Well, Dee, we appreciate your time, and I think that's some great advice. Again, if anybody has any questions or would like to talk to Dee more about what she can do for them, we're going to have the contact information at the conclusion of this video. Again, my name is Dusty King with King & King PLC. This is Dee Wright with The Starting Place, and we thank you for taking a look at our video.